Hi there, this is Shadowman speaking, and this is my first ever YouTube video, and I'm going to talk a bit about Elliott Rodger. Okay, well, it's a bit off news now. It's lots of people have made comments about this case, but I just want to make my few observations, if you will. The question is, one of the sources of one main source of Elliott's frustration was his incapacity to make it with girls, that is, to interest the girls into him, to go out with him, or at least have sex with him. And the question I've been racking my brains about this question is, what would have happened if Elliott did in fact meet a woman and hook up with that woman and finally be able to enter a romantic or sexual partnership with that person? Would it have done him any good? And frankly, I'm not entirely convinced that this would have been such an epiphany for him. We must remember that Elliott had a very unhealthy relationship with sexuality. In his manifesto, when he discovers porn for the first time, a friend has sent him through emails a couple of dirty pictures, and he was confronted with female nudity and pornography for the first time, and in his own words, he reacted extremely in a very traumatic fashion about that. More traumatic is the fact that he was sexually reacting to the pictures that he saw. Later on, he also caught a boy watching porn on his laptop computer, and this was also another traumatizing situation for him. Again, later on, he was sleeping over at a friend's house, and the friend wanted, to brag about before Rodger, so he presented him with online pornography, and again, Elliott reacts very negatively to that. So I don't know, really. True, he had sexual desires for women, he had sexual desires for girls, but in his mind, sexuality was something very much something that he didn't look forward to. In his manifesto, he says that the discovery that he was hitting puberty and therefore was beginning to have desires for women, he describes it as destroying his life. So, in that respect, I'm wondering if, what could have happened. Would he have been able to perform sexually if he ever got a girl into his bed? For the romantic aspects of going out with people, again, I'm asking myself the question, what would have happened? Would Elliott would have found bliss, going out with his girlfriend and participating in all the stuff that people do with their girlfriends? Well, again, I am not entirely convinced of this. I think that Elliott lacked several key personality traits that would have enabled him to enter in a very satisfying relationship with a young woman. His lack of empathy for other people, his incredible arrogance, his complete. He was from outer space, basically. That's the way I see it. I don't know if he was Asperger. I don't know if he had any actual mental illnesses. And frankly, I don't think that's really relevant to my comments. I don't know, but at any rate, I don't think that Elliott would have been able to enter any particular relationship with women, precisely because he was an insufferable brat. He was someone who was known to throw temper tantrums whenever he didn't get his way. Um, and he did that throughout most of his life, not just when he was a young kid, but most of his life. He had fits of tears every time he was confronted with some traumatic events in his life. So imagine that kind of character with a girlfriend. Imagine, Elliott has moved in with his girlfriend, and something or other happened. The many travails of living with somebody else. What would have Elliott done, except act the same way that he has always acted in his life, and that is throw a tantrum. Now imagine a young lady at the other end of this argument, wondering exactly what kind of person she's going out with, especially when that person start acting like a 3 years old kid. Sorry again for that. Can you imagine this? I mean, can you imagine a woman going out with Rodger and then suddenly he bursts in tears because he saw something he didn't like out in the street? Or because his supper wasn't ready, or because the girlfriend in question was a bit tired of him. I know he had stopped playing World of Warcraft by the time that he committed his Day of Retribution, but we must ask ourselves. No, I don't think so. I can't see it. Or I can see, or what I can see is a very, very, very short-lived relationship with this young lady. It's inconceivable to me that he would have been able to put it off. Certainly not to the extent that his father had done by actually marrying a woman and starting a family, or for that matter, when his parents got divorced and his father remarried or hooked up with another Suyama, I think her name is. No, I can't see it. I really can't see it. And frankly, I think for most of the things that he writes about in his manifesto, it's clear to me that I don't even think he would have been able to perform. Probably on the spur of the moment, and given the fact that he seems to have had a very strong sex urge, according to him anyway. So he probably would have been able to perform, but I can only imagine the intense feelings of disgust that he would have had with himself and towards the young lady in question had he managed to get it into the sack. This idea of his that if he had been able to achieve one orgasm with a woman or a girl, this would have solved all of his problems. This would have opened the new horizons for him. Frankly, no, absolutely not. This is no. He would have been probably traumatized because, if he's traumatized just by looking at people fucking, okay? If he's traumatized by the simple act of looking at other people, getting it on, and now he's put in a situation where he has to get it on himself, the level of disgust in that situation would have cranked up to 11 as far as I'm concerned. And it would probably have ended badly. Of course, this is conjectural and sheer speculation, but I don't think, one thing that I do know is that it wouldn't have been the happy event that Elliott himself, cranks himself up to believe in orgasm and sexual activities. One also has to take account his intense jealousy at other people. He was insanely jealous of any young couple that he saw on the street, especially if the girl was white and blonde, which was his favorite. his intense feeling of jealousy anytime that he saw a boy going out with a girl not of his race. In this case, he has a long racist rant against African American boys or Latino boys going out with white girls. This drove him completely nutsoid, and honestly, what can you do? Given the kind of personality that he had, what would have happened if he saw his girlfriend, his hypothetical girlfriend of his, talking to another boy? This would have drove him nuts, especially if she talked to a boy, an African American boy, or an Asian boy, or a Latino boy. So, yeah, I mean, this I didn't want this video to be me, going about Elliott's life in great details. Some other YouTubers, mostly Jordan Owen 42 and Stefan Molyneux, as both have done comprehensive videos on the Elliott Rodger case, and I know that other YouTubers have done so. So that's why I didn't want to go on about Elliott Rodger in the same fashion. This is my first ever YouTube video. I'm a bit nervous about it, to tell you the truth, and well, this is it. This is my observation on the Elliott Rodger case. I'm not sure if I'm going to make another video about him. I don't think so. And well, we'll see where this experiment leads me, and see where I can come up with for my next one. So thank you for your patience, and this is Shadowman speaking, and we'll see each other pretty soon.